All right. Happy holidays, everybody. We're getting into that time of the year. Christmas music aglow everywhere you go. You hear Christmas music, even in science class. It's time for Belovsky Science, December the 4th, 2020. Let's jump into it real quick. Turn this down a little bit. All right, so welcome back. There's a few announcements that we need to go over real quick. Let's go to the stream page right here. Right now, at this very moment, at 2:59 p.m. on December the 4th, all grades are up to date. The only thing that is outstanding is students today at 3:30 must turn in their Chapter 21 Lesson 1 review sheet. So those of you that are blended, if you don't watch this video lesson until later on in the day, you're going to be late. So go ahead and turn it in anyway. And I don't imagine that it will be a huge problem. I kind of told, if you watch the videos like you're supposed to, the live stream, I told y'all that you needed to get this done and it needed to be turned in today. So, but make sure you get your work done and make sure it's turned in sometime today. But for the traditional students, they're having to turn it in by 3:30 today. If you look here at this stream page, I have locked everything else out. Everything in the past is graded and it is locked. You've had plenty of time to do it. And I have now closed out the ecosystem chart, biotic and abiotic. The Chapter 20 review sheets are done. That would be sections 1, 2, and 3. Warm-ups that we're due on November 20th is now locked. All of that stuff you cannot turn in. So if you do it, you're doing it just for the knowledge, because you will not receive a grade on it. And there's one other thing that is outstanding that you got until Sunday to do. And there are some people that have not taken the Chapter 20 test. The Chapter 20 test was taken on Monday. And there are still a few folks out there that haven't taken the test. That's called dragging your feet. And I'm getting tired of dragons. And so you have to have that done by Sunday, and I'm going to close the test on Sunday at 3:30. So you have to take it Sunday or you will be done. You'll receive a 0 for it. So what did we do today? All right, well, let's get into it. Here's what you're going to see right now. When you click on this, the video's not on here because I'm making the video right now. Do your warm-up, watch the video, follow the directions in the video. Make sure you get Chapter 21, Lesson 1 turned in. So let's get to the work. I messed up. Sorry, I messed up. On the review sheet here, I forgot to put the definitions in at the very end. So what you need to do is you need to get down here to the bottom and you need to put number 36 in. We're going to do 36, 37, and 38 today. So go to your review sheet and only put 36 because you only need to do one at a time because you don't know how long the definitions are going to be. So do 36 right now. And okay, where is it I need to go? I'm through with this. Let's go to the textbook. All right. What we talked about today is population changes. And remember, we've been talking about populations and what affects population. Well, today we're going to go into more depth about exactly what causes changes to occur for populations to go up and down or to move or to stay right where they are, stay balanced. Here's a picture of some spider. A spider egg has obviously opened up and is growing here. This right here is a a garden spider that we have here in even in North Alabama, and they have huge egg sacs. And when these things hatch, of course, that is a up mark in the population size of of garden spiders. Um, so exactly, what all affects the numbers when it comes to population. Okay, well, let's take a look at it here. Number 36, you need to write down birth rate. So type that in there. And what you need to know about birth rate, now I haven't done this in a while. Let me see if I got a steady hand. Birth rate is the number of offspring produced over a given period of time. Hit pause and type all that in. Okay, so what is birth rate? Well, over a span of time, doesn't matter how long the time is, determines a birth rate. There's a birth rate for today in the state of Alabama. Ever how many people are born today in the state of Alabama, that is the state of Alabama's birth rate, basically. Okay. Now, usually when you think about birth rates, you think about how many births there are over a year. Okay. So, usually it's determined by a year, but you can determine it by months, and it really doesn't matter. All right. So now I know you already see it. So let's go ahead and write the definition for the next one here. Number 37 is death rate. All right. So what is death rate? Death rate is the number of individuals that die over the same time period. So hit pause and I'll explain it more. Hit pause. Okay, so what is death rate? Okay, so if you're counting a birth rate over a year, say for example, Decatur, Alabama, how many people are born to the families of Decatur, Alabama? Okay, to determine the death rate, you have to count over that same year how many people died during that time period. Here's an interesting website that you might want to go to sometime or another. It is a world population clock, worldometer here it says, worldometers.info. And this right here is showing you what the current world population is. Okay. And for example, today, now here is what the population is of the earth human wise right now. 7.8 billion people. Billion. Okay. That's a lot of people. Billion is a lot of people. Today alone, on earth, there has been 241,000 births. Today is the birthday for 241,000 newborns today. Today, 101,000 people have passed away. So if you look at those numbers right there, births more than double the number of deaths. So the birth rate today will be whatever this is at midnight. Okay? The death rate will be whatever this is at midnight. And this right here shows you what the population growth is during the day. Today, the earth has 140,300 more than what we started out with. Now, for the year, okay, this is talking about how many people have been born this year. 129 million. How many deaths have there been this year? 54 million, over 54 million. So once again, those numbers are still a little over double births compared to deaths. And this year as a whole on the world, we're up 75 million people. Okay. So this is a counter. No, there's not somebody somewhere going 1, 2, 3. Oh, there was a death. So back to 3. Oh, wait a minute. There's not somebody counting. This is based on a formula comparing how quickly people are being born and how people are how quickly people die. At the beginning of this year, this number was probably a little bit faster. The coronavirus is causing quite a few deaths, a new disease. So the counter may have gone a little bit faster at the beginning of the year, because if you start getting massive deaths, then it slows down that increase over time. So, but anyway, it's kind of interesting. I thought that y'all might like it to see. There are counters like this for the United States. But there's this right here, this site has all kinds of interesting information. The 20 largest countries in the world, well, here's USA right here. And this right here is showing population of the United States from 1950 until 2020. All right, so back in 1950, the population of the United States was 158 million people. And now all the way right here where we are now, we've doubled. Okay. Yearly population growth rates. All right, just all kinds of really interesting information down through here. I was wondering if it had a counter. And I know that there are websites that have a clock, a counter for different countries. And so right here, it's not actually counting up, but it shows you at probably, oh, there it went. Yep, it is going up. So here in the United States, currently we are at 331 million people living here in the United States. So that number goes up like every 8 to 10 seconds. All right. So with that being said, all right. The next word that we need to talk about is exponential growth. Now that word does not have it's not highlighted. So here's where you need to write down the definition. Exponential growth. The larger a population gets, the faster it grows. Hit pause, and I'll talk about it more. So what is exponential growth? The bigger your numbers are, that means you have more adults or more mature organisms that can make babies. And so the more mature organisms that you have, that means you can have more and more babies faster and faster and faster. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever got to feeling bad in the afternoon and evening, and then about 9 or 10 o'clock hits, and you tell mom and dad, I'm going to bed, I don't feel good. I'm going to see if I can get to feeling better. I'm going to bed. And then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're blowing chunks everywhere, or you've got a horrible sore throat. Okay, well, what may have happened was when you were feeling bad, you may have had an illness, a virus, or a bacteria growing inside of you. And then when you lay down, it got in bigger and bigger numbers, and your illness got worse while you was asleep. Well, that's because bacteria grows exponentially. Here you can see it starts out as just a few bacteria, but as the numbers get bigger and they mature, then it grows extremely fast, a whole lot faster than when it was just a few. Okay, that's exponential growth. The bigger the population gets, the more maturity you have, then the more mature organisms you have, then the faster you can produce offspring. And that's what you're seeing right there in that picture right there. And that's what it's talking about right here. What are things that can cause population size to decrease? Well, we've already studied that. We talked about it if you watched the class for yesterday. Limiting factors. Limiting factors are things that can cause death to things. Starvation, natural disasters, lack of food, lack of water, lack of shelter, accidents, war. All of those things are limiting factors that can hold down populations sizes. And if you think, well, it's really not a big deal, all things kind of bounce back over time. Oh, no, don't say that. Here are the dinosaurs. All right. They didn't bounce back from whatever happened to them, whether it was a meteor, whether it was a virus, Who knows what it was? Whatever it was, they didn't bounce back from it because they ain't here. So, it is a big deal. And when there's problems with population, that's when scientists really, really start paying attention to it to see what is going on with those creatures, because you don't want something that is called extinction to occur. And that's what happened to the dinosaurs. And next week, we will talk about extinction. Kind of a timeline, kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm thinking that next Friday, a week from today, we're going to have a test. It will be your last test for the school year. It will either be next Friday or the following Monday. So next week, we're going to cover the rest of lesson 2, starting on Monday, Tuesday, probably Wednesday, Thursday, lesson 3, and then take the test on Friday. That's what we're hoping for right now. All right. Well, get your chapter 21, section 1 turned in today. And if you haven't taken the test, get that taken care of. Take care of your warm-ups, and we will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.